What if I told you that many of the signs the Prophet Muhammad warned about 1,400 years ago are no longer predictions but realities unfolding right now? From moral collapse to global chaos, from false leaders to rising deception, from earthquakes to wars that shake entire nations. Are these coincidences or the beginning of the final hour? The Prophet said, "The hour will not begin until trials become like pieces of the dark night." And today, it feels like the night has already fallen. Look around. Families are breaking. Greed is celebrated. Truth is mocked. Modesty is disappearing. Corruption is praised. Evil is trending, and good is silenced. Is this just society changing, or are we watching prophecy come alive? In this documentary, we're not dealing with myths or theories. We're going deep into the authentic Hadith and Qur'anic warnings about the end of times, the signs that would appear before the day stands still. And the real question isn't, when will the last day come? The real question is, are we already inside the countdown? In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. Throughout history, every prophet warned their people about the day of judgment. But in Islam, the signs given to Prophet Muhammad are unlike any other, detailed, layered, and deeply connected to the world we live in right now. The Prophet Muhammad said, "I in the hour have been sent like these too." Sahih Bukhari, and he held his index and middle finger close together, showing that the final hour was near even 1,400 years ago. Now imagine, if it was near back then, where are we now? One of the most shocking minor signs is something most of us feel today. Time will pass quickly. Sahih Bukhari, years now feel like months. Months feel like weeks. Life races ahead, work, technology, deadlines, and suddenly another year is gone. Is time really moving faster, or have our hearts become too distracted? The Prophet said, "Knowledge will be taken away, and ignorance will prevail." Sahih Muslim, not that books will disappear, but scholars will. People argue online about Islam, twist verses out of context, and speak without knowledge. Apps replace study circles. Opinions replace scholars. Is this not exactly what was warned? Narrated by Abu Hurairah, the Prophet said, "You will see the barefoot, naked, destitute shepherds competing and constructing tall buildings." Sahih Muslim, look at the Arabian Peninsula today. In Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Jeddah, shepherd tribes became billionaires. They don't just build skyscrapers. They compete for the tallest in the world. Coincidence? Or prophecy fulfilled? The Prophet said, "There will be years of deception. Lying will be widespread." Ahmad, and there will come a time when people will consider illicit sex, silk, alcohol, and musical instruments as permissible. Sahih Bukhari, look around. Haram made normal. Modesty mocked. Sins broadcasted as entertainment. Children exposed to filth before understanding right and wrong. Has shame already died? Another prophecy. A man will obey his wife and disobey his mother. He will be close to his friend and distant from his father. At Tirmidhi, today, elder parents are left alone. Nursing homes replace family homes. Influencers are loved more than fathers. Screens replaced family conversations. Are we witnessing this sign in real time? The Prophet said, "There will be a lot of killing." Sahih Bukhari, wars, mass shootings, bombings, civil unrest. People killed without knowing why. Others killed for money, revenge, or even content. The Prophet was asked why this killing would happen. He replied, "Because there will be no guidance." The Prophet said, "From among my ummah, there will be people who will consider illegal sexual intercourse, silk, alcohol, and musical instruments as permissible." Sahih Bukhari, music is everywhere. Cars, malls, phones, games, shows, schools. Even Muslim weddings mix sin with celebration. Children memorize lyrics more than Quran. Does this sound familiar? The Prophet described years of betrayal, when the liar is believed and the truthful is rejected. Ahmad, today, people follow influencers over scholars. Falsehood spreads faster than truth. Someone with millions of views is considered right, even if they speak against faith. Truth doesn't trend anymore. Falsehood does. These minor signs are not coming. They're already here. We're not waiting. we're living inside them. In the next chapter, we go deeper into the economic, social, and political signs, including the rise of interest, corruption, and the breakdown of morality. Before we continue, ask yourself, are these signs warnings or reminders to return to Allah before it's too late? The Prophet said, "From among the signs of the hour is that lewdness and obscenity will become widespread." Tabarani, modesty once honored is now ridiculed. Children are exposed to indecency earlier than ever. What was once hidden is now celebrated publicly, on screens, streets, and social media. Another hadith states, there will come a time when people will commit adultery in the open like donkeys. Ibn Hibban, public indecency, scandals, and immorality are no longer shocking. They're normal content. The Prophet warned, the hour will not come until people from my ummah engage openly in the practices of the people of Lut. At Tabarani, nations once built on morality now legally promote what Allah clearly condemned in the Quran. Those who speak against it are silenced or shamed. This is not judgment. It is prophecy unfolding. Islam honors family ties, yet the Prophet said, the hour will not come until family ties are cut. Ahmad, today, parents and children rarely eat together. Calls replace visits. Friends and strangers replace siblings. Inheritance battles break families. Divorce rates rise even in Muslim communities. The home is no longer united, it's divided. Having children is considered stressful, expensive, or unnecessary. Many avoid marriage altogether. The Prophet said, a man will pass by a grave and say, would that I were in his place. Sahih Bukhari, hopelessness, depression, suicide, fear of the world. Children are fewer, not because life is easy, but because people have lost hope in the future. Prophet Muhammad said, among the signs of the hour is that women will outnumber men 50 to 1. Sahih Bukhari, look at global trends. Wars, violence, and lifestyles have caused rising imbalances. Men die younger, marry later, or avoid responsibility. In some regions, women already outnumber men drastically. Another sign unfolding. One of the most painful prophecies. Children will become filled with anger, and rain will fall in the wrong seasons. Tabarani, and a man will obey his wife and disobey his mother. At Tirmidhi, today, parents beg for attention from their children. Phone screens replace family conversations. Elders are treated as burdens, not blessings. This isn't culture. This is prophecy. Truth no longer has value. The Prophet said, honesty will be lost, and trust will be betrayed. Sahih Bukhari, contracts broken, promises forgotten, leaders lie, media lies, influencers lie, and people believe what entertains them, not what is true. The Prophet also warned, the liar will be believed, and the truthful will be rejected. Ahmad, sound familiar? The Prophet said, people will boast about their masjids and decorate them, yet their hearts will be empty. Abu Dawud, we build grand mosques, but empty hearts. We dress religious but lack taqwa. Islam is spoken with the tongue, not lived with the heart. Appearances replace sincerity. Prophet Muhammad declared, a time will come when no one will remain who does not consume riba, and if he does not consume it, its dust will reach him. Abu Dawud, bank loans, mortgages, credit cards, digital transactions. Even those who try to avoid interest are forced into its system. Riba is no longer a sin. It's an economic structure. Ask yourself honestly, are these signs coming or already here? In just 2 chapters, we've covered what Prophet Muhammad said would happen before the final hour. And nearly every single one of these warnings has become part of modern life. But it doesn't end here. The Prophet said, when authority is given to those who do not deserve it, then wait for the hour. Sahih Bukhari, today many leaders lack morality, lie openly, serve the elite, value power above justice. Leadership is no longer about righteousness. It's about position and influence. The world is full of rulers who rule, not lead. Prophet Muhammad said, there will come a time when honesty will disappear and only the greedy will remain. Bukhari, Bribery is now called processing fees. Corruption is business. Lies are strategy. Deception is marketing. Truth is laughed at, and falsehood is rewarded. This is not random decline. This is prophecy playing out. The prophet warned, "You will see great wealth, but none of it will reach the poor." Ahmad, today's reality. 1% of the world owns more than 50% of its wealth. Billionaires multiply while millions starve. Food is wasted while children die of hunger. Policies help corporations, not communities. This imbalance was foretold. The prophet said, "The nations will gather against you like diners to a dish." Abu Dawud. Why? Because of love for this world and hatred for death. We chase status, brands, fame, and wealth while ignoring the hereafter. The dunya became the dream, and the Akhir became forgotten. Another prediction. There will come a time when a person will worry about how to earn a lawful income. Tabarani. Today, prices rise faster than salaries. Families struggle to survive. Housing, medicine, and education become luxuries. Halal income becomes harder to secure. The burden is global, just as the prophecy said. The prophet said, "Riba will become widespread. You will not find a single person who is not affected by it." Ahmad. Today, interest is woven into housing, banking, business loans, student loans, national debt, digital payments. Even if you avoid it, as the prophet said, its dust will reach you. Prophet Muhammad said, "Toward the end of time, people will trade, but few will be honest." Bukhari. False advertising, counterfeit products, hidden fees, manipulated prices. Greed replaces integrity. Halal and haram blur in transactions. The warning is no longer in the future, it's in our markets. The Quran commands. Indeed, Allah commands you to return trusts to whom they are due. Quran 4:58. But today, broken promises are common. Contracts ignored. Debts unpaid. Responsibilities abandoned. Trust treated as optional. The Prophet said, "The believer is one whom people trust with their lives and wealth." Ahmad. That believer is now rare. Prophet Muhammad described the end times. The rulers will be the worst of people. Tabarani. Power is no longer a trust, it's a tool. Justice is replaced by favor. Laws bend for the rich and crush the weak. And people feel helpless. We've now seen how Islamic prophecy described corrupt leadership, economic decline, debt and interest, global inequality, loss of honesty, poverty and deceit. Every one of these signs is active right now. But there is more. The Prophet Muhammad said, "The hour will not come until killing becomes widespread." Sahih Muslim. And when asked why people would kill each other, he replied, "People will kill and not know why. The killer will not know for what reason he killed, and the one killed will not know for what reason he was killed." Muslim Ahmad. Today we see civil wars, mass shootings, terror attacks, random violence, innocent casualties. Blood is spilled without reason, cause, or justice. The Prophet warned, a time will come when the killer and the killed are both in the fire. Sahih Muslim. He explained, because both wanted to kill. Look at the Ummah today. Muslim fighting Muslim. Nations turning on each other. Weapons funded by the same hands. Unity shattered by greed and politics. Prophet Muhammad said, "Fire will appear in the land of Hijaz and light up the necks of camels in Basra." Sahih Bukhari. Many scholars relate this to volcanic eruptions, conflict, and explosions in the region. Today, Saudi Arabia and the Arabian Peninsula experience rising threats, political, military, and geological. The Prophet said, "The people will compete over worldly wealth and bloodshed will follow." Ahmad. Modern wars are no longer about survival. They are about resources, energy, land, control, weapons. Talks of nuclear arms, military alliances, and invasions dominate the news daily. The Prophet described the end times. The great killing will occur, unlike anything seen before. Ibn Majah. Mass destruction weapons were unknown in the 7th century, but today humanity can wipe out nations with a single decision. Prophet Muhammad said, "Before the hour, There will be years of deception, in which the truthful will be disbelieved and the liar will be believed. Ahmad, governments overthrown, streets filled with protests, people fighting their own neighbors, trust broken within families and tribes. The Prophet said, there will be trials in my ummah. The first is in Syria, the second in Iraq, and the third in the Arabian Peninsula. Ahmad, look at recent decades. Syria, destroyed by war. Iraq, invaded and shattered. Yemen, bombed and starving. Palestine, bleeding daily. These are not coincidences, they match the warnings. The Prophet said, treaties will be broken and blood will be spilled. Ahmad, agreements dissolve overnight. Promises vanish. Allies become enemies, and enemies become allies. Trust between nations evaporates. Nations calling others to invade the Muslim world. Prophet Muhammad said, nations will gather against you as diners gather around a dish. Abu Dawud and the companions asked, will we be few? He said, no, you will be many, but like the foam of the sea. Muslims today are over 1 billion, yet weak, divided, and exploited. In this chapter, we turn to the frightening signs that come not from people, but from the planet itself. The Quran and Hadith describe a world that begins to unravel as the final hour approaches. Earthquakes, floods, diseases, famine, all multiplying. These are not random tragedies. They are signs. Let's explore them one by one. Earthquakes increasing rapidly. The Prophet Muhammad said, the hour will not come until earthquakes increase. Sahih Bukhari. Think about it. Turkey, Syria, Morocco, Japan, Indonesia, Pakistan, Haiti, Chile, Nepal, Afghanistan. Thousands die in minutes. Cities vanish. The earth moves beneath our feet as if warning humanity. Just in the last 20 years, earthquakes have multiplied in frequency and damage. Sudden death and plagues. The Prophet said, before the hour, there will be many sudden deaths. Tabarani, and there will be epidemics and mass death among you, like the plague among sheep. Ahmad, we witnessed COVID-19, Ebola, SARS, bird flu, strange viruses with no cure. One illness spreads and shuts down the world. This was foretold. Floods and extreme weather. Allah says in the Quran, corruption has appeared on land and sea because of what people's hand have earned. Quran 30:41. And the Prophet mentioned, rain will increase, but it will not bring much benefit. Ahmad, today, floods in Pakistan drown whole villages. Storms devastate Libya and Malaysia. Hurricanes strike America and the Caribbean. East Africa faces deadly rains. Dry lands suddenly flood. Too much rain where there was none, and no rain where it's needed. Fire and heat from the sky. The Prophet said, the hour will not come until there is smoke that fills the sky. Sahih Muslim. Wildfires rage. Australia burned for months. Canada's skies turned orange. California and Greece in flames. The Amazon rainforest on fire. Smoke darkens the sky. Nature itself is crying out. Climate change and famine. Prophet Muhammad foretold, there will be years of drought in which people will perish. Ahmad, today, Africa faces famine. Crops fail in Asia. Europe experiences record heat. The Middle East suffers water loss. Ice caps melt into the oceans. Rivers dry while seas rise. Food is scarce while demand increases. Landslides and the earth swallowing people. The Prophet said, the earth will swallow groups of people. Tirmidhi. Today we see sinkholes swallowing roads and homes. Mudslides burying entire communities. Buildings collapsing without warning. Cracks splitting the ground. The earth no longer stays still. The sky changing. Allah says, when the sky is torn apart. Quran 84:1. And when the sun is wrapped up. Quran 81:1. Unnatural events. Red and black skies. Blood-colored moons. Sandstorms turning cities dark. Solar flares disrupting power. Pollution blocking sunlight. Creation is shifting. Animal deaths and ecological collapse. The Prophet said, the hour will not come until wealth is abundant, yet life becomes cheap. Bukhari. Livestock die. Oceans empty. Bees vanish. Birds fall from the sky. Fish wash ashore. Animals flee their habitats. The ecosystem collapses quietly, but visibly. Humans causing their own disaster. Allah warns, do not cause corruption on the earth after it has been set in order. Quran 7:56. But people destroyed forests, polluted oceans, poisoned the air, and stripped the earth of its resources. And now the world responds. Leadership given to the unqualified. The Prophet said, when authority is given to those who do not deserve it, then wait for the hour. Sahih Bukhari. Look at leadership today. Corrupt politicians, incompetent rulers, rich elites with no morals, celebrities influencing nations, power in the hands of the greedy. Positions of responsibility are no longer based on wisdom, faith, or justice, but on wealth, tribe, or influence. Leaders who betray the people. The Prophet said, there will be leaders after me who do not follow my guidance, nor uphold my sunnah. Sahih Muslim. We see leaders stealing public funds, governments lying to citizens, promises broken without shame, people oppressed by those in power. Instead of protecting the weak, they exploit them. Justice becomes a commodity. The Prophet Muhammad warned, before the hour, there will be judges who judge for money. Ahmad. Today, court rulings favor the wealthy. Innocent people jailed. Criminals walk free with bribes. Lawyers twist truth for profit. Justice is no longer sacred. It is negotiated. Trust will disappear. The Prophet said, honesty will vanish, and people will trust only their close friends. Bukhari. Now, promises mean nothing. Leaders lie without guilt. A business deals are traps. Contracts are broken easily. Even family members deceive each other. Trust used to be a treasure. Now it's a rare memory. The rise of the hypocrites. The Prophet described, toward the end of time, there will be liars and immoral people in power. Tabarani. We see immorality displayed proudly. Hypocrisy disguised as progress. False promises of freedom and rights. Leaders speaking of peace while selling weapons. Religious figures afraid to speak truth. Truth is silenced. Hypocrisy is rewarded. Wealth controls the world. The Prophet warned, the fitna of my ummah is wealth. Tirmidhi. Today, billionaires decide policies. Banks enslave nations. Corporations own governments. The poor starve while luxury increases. Money speaks louder than morality. People compete in building tall buildings. The Prophet said, you will see the barefoot, poor shepherds competing in building tall towers. Sahih Muslim. Look at Dubai, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, China, America, Malaysia. Skyscrapers rising while poverty spreads. It's not just construction, it's a prophecy fulfilled. Governments serving themselves, not the people. Instead of protecting citizens, they create wars. They suppress protests. They sell resources to foreigners. They silence journalists. They punish truth-tellers. The Prophet said, there will come rulers who fear no one and show no mercy. Musnad Ahmad. We are witnessing it. Leaders who invite punishment. Allah says, and fear a trial that will not strike only the wrongdoers among you. Quran 8:25. When leaders are corrupt, nations fall, not just governments. History shows Pharaoh was destroyed with his people. Ad and the mud perished. Rome and Persia collapsed. Oppression always ends in ruin. Transition to next era. We have seen corrupt leadership, injustice in courts, collapse of trust, money ruling morality, hypocrisy replacing truth. But the next signs go beyond leadership. In the previous chapter, we saw corruption and injustice spreading from the top, the leaders and authorities. Now, we look at a sign that touches every home, every family, and every screen. The disappearance of modesty, the shameless rise of immorality, and the destruction of moral boundaries. These are not just social problems. They are signs of the end times, clearly described by the Prophet Muhammad. Let's go through them. Modesty will vanish. The Prophet said, when you do not feel shame, do as you wish. Sahih Bukhari. We're living in this time. Nudity and indecent clothing promoted as fashion. Swearing and vulgarity normalized online. Private sins broadcast publicly. Kids exposed to immorality at earlier ages. Shame is mocked. Modesty is old-fashioned. Where there is no shame, evil becomes entertainment. Open immorality and public sin. The Prophet warned, there will be people from my ummah who consider adultery, silk, alcohol, and musical instruments as lawful. Sahih Bukhari. Today, zina, fornication, and adultery, shown in movies and TV. Cheating in marriage glamorized in dramas. Dating culture replaces halal boundaries. Pornography is a multi-billion-dollar business. Alcohol is normalized at celebrations. Sins that were hidden are now public and even celebrated. Women dressed but naked. The Prophet said, women who are clothed yet naked will not enter paradise nor smell its fragrance. Sahih Muslim. Look at tight, revealing fashion trends. Social media influencers showing private parts. Children copying adult styles. Hijab turned into a fashion accessory instead of a command. Modesty has been replaced with exposure, both physically and morally. Adultery becomes common. The Prophet described, adultery will become so widespread that the best of people will say, if you would only avoid it in the street. Sahih Ibn Hibban. Now, affairs promoted in movies. Dating apps normalize zina. Teenagers involved in haram relationships. Divorce caused by unfaithfulness. Illegitimate children on the rise. Even virtual zina through phones and screens has become common. Entertainment of sin. Once, people were ashamed of wrongdoing. Now, comedy shows mock religion. Music videos promote indecency. Reality TV encourages shameless behavior. Immoral influencers are idolized. The Prophet said, there will be years of deception, and evil will be seen as good. Ahmad, and that is exactly what we see. The destruction of family values. As modesty dies, marriages break easily. Children are confused about gender and morals. Parents lose authority. Elders are disrespected. Privacy has no meaning. The Prophet warned, near the hour, a man will pass by a grave and say, would that I were in his place. Bukhari and Muslim. A society without values becomes a society without peace. LGBTQ plus normalization and complacency. The Quran tells the story of Prophet Lut and the destruction of his people. Allah warns, do you approach men with desire instead of women? No, you're a people transgressing. Quran 7 hours, 81 minutes. But today, that lifestyle is legally protected. Schools promote gender confusion. Speaking against it is labeled hate. Even some Muslims stay silent to avoid trouble. Silence is the first step to acceptance. Music and immorality hand in hand. The Prophet said, there will be people who make permissible adultery, silk, alcohol, and musical instruments. Bukhari. Today, most songs promote lust, breakup, drugs, and ego. TikTok trends normalize shameless dancing. Weddings filled with haram music instead of duet. Children memorize lyrics more than Quran. Entertainment has become a gateway to sin. Bodies shown, souls forgotten. Social media teaches, your worth equals your looks. Your value equals your followers. Your goal equals impress strangers. Your body equals your brand. This is the opposite of Islamic identity. Allah says, and the clothing of righteousness, that is best. Quran 7:26. Transition to next discussion. So far we've seen shame disappearing, zina and indecency normalized, immorality spreading through media, families breaking, modesty mocked, but the next signs go even deeper. We've seen how morality fades when modesty disappears. But the next sign goes even deeper. It affects faith itself. The Prophet Muhammad warned that true knowledge will disappear, not by books being erased, but by the loss of real scholars and the spread of ignorance in their place. Knowledge will be taken away. The Prophet said, Allah does not take away knowledge by pulling it from people, but he takes it away by taking the souls of the scholars. Then people will take ignorant leaders, and they will give rulings without knowledge and go astray and lead others astray. Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. This warning describes today perfectly. Many of the great scholars have already passed. People follow influencers instead of Islamic teachers. Opinions replace Quran and Sunnah. Sheikh Google is consulted more than real scholars. True knowledge is fading before our eyes. Ignorance becomes widespread. The Prophet also said, "Before the hour, ignorance will appear, knowledge will be taken away, and civil chaos will increase." Bukhari. Look around. Many Muslims don't know how to pray correctly. Arabic Quran is recited but not understood. Halal and haram are chosen based on convenience. Islam is inherited, not learned. Opinions outweigh evidence. People are speaking with confidence and without knowledge. False scholars and misguidance. One of the most dangerous signs. There will come to people years of deception in which liars will be believed, the truthful will be denied, and the Ruway Baida will speak. Ahmad, when asked who that is, he said, "A foolish person who speaks about public affairs." Today, unqualified preachers on TikTok and YouTube, motivational speakers mixing Islam with desire, scholars who are silent to please politicians, sect leaders dividing the Ummah, cultural traditions replacing Islamic rulings. Islam is being explained by people who don't understand it. Quran reciters without guidance. The Prophet said, "There will be people who recite the Quran, but it does not go beyond their throats." Bukhari, meaning, the recitation is beautiful, but the heart is empty. People memorize without following. Tajweed is mastered, but behavior is corrupt. Quran is recited for fame, not guidance. Knowledge is becoming performance, not transformation. Religious debates without understanding. We see today people debating deen from memes. Youth arguing fiqh rulings from social media quotes. Sectarian arguments with no scholarship. My opinion replacing Allah said and the Prophet said. Mockery of scholars who spent decades learning. When ignorance speaks, division spreads. Islamic knowledge becomes rare. The Prophet said, "Knowledge will decrease and ignorance will prevail." Bukhari and Muslim. Signs today. Islamic schools closing in some countries. Religious teachers under pressure or silenced. Masjids without proper students of knowledge. Youth uninterested in studying Islam. Parents teaching culture instead of deen. Knowledge is becoming a stranger in Muslim homes. Religion practiced without understanding. Examples. People praying but not knowing what Fatiha means. Fasting without knowing its rulings. Hijab worn as fashion, not obedience. Charity done for likes, not sincerity. Dua made without faith in its power. Islam is being performed, not lived. Following desire instead of guidance. Allah warns, they follow nothing but assumption in what their souls desire. Quran 53:23. Today, my heart tells me it's okay, replaces fiqh. Allah knows what's in my heart is used to excuse sin. Halal is adjusted to trends. People search for the easiest fatwa, not the right one. When knowledge is ignored, misguidance spreads. Real scholars are few but precious. The Prophet said, "The scholars are the inheritors of the prophets, but their voices are drowned by entertainers. Their advice is ignored until crisis comes. Their deaths leave gaps that no one replaces. Their students are distracted by dunya. True scholars are a mercy, and we are losing them." Transition to nest excursion. So far we've seen true scholars passing away, ignorance rising fast, false teachers leading people astray, Quran recited without understanding. This collapse of knowledge prepares the way for something even more dangerous. Faith begins at home. When the home collapses, society collapses. The Prophet Muhammad warned that one of the signs of the end times would be the breakdown of family ties, especially the rise of disrespect towards parents. Today, this prophecy is no longer a warning. It is reality. The Prophet mentioned children turning against parents. He said, "Among the signs of the hour is that a man will obey his wife and disobey his mother, and he will be close to his friend but distant from his father." At Tabarani, Look at today. Parents are spoken to with anger. Children argue instead of listen. Elders are corrected without respect. Friends are prioritized over family. Advice from parents is ignored. The family structure is weakening. Disrespect becomes normal. The prophet said, "When a young show no respect to the elderly, then the hour is near." Ahmad. Examples we now see. Children shouting back at parents. Teenagers mocking elders online. Elders abandoned in care homes. Islamic manners replaced by Western attitudes. Mind your business replacing yes, mother. Respect used to be a foundation. Now it is treated as optional. Parents are seen as burdens. Allah commands, and do not even say to them. Quran 17:23. But what do we see today? Eye rolling, ignoring parent calls, becoming angry when asked for help, seeing parents as old-fashioned, treating them as obstacles instead of blessings. Even a sigh of annoyance is forbidden, yet worse is happening. Family advice is replaced by internet opinions. Parents say, "Don't do this." The child answers with Google. Grandparents say, "This is wrong." The child says, "You don't understand." Influencers, TikTok, and celebrities became teachers, replacing family wisdom and Islamic upbringing. The home lost its voice. Parents fear their own children. The prophet said, "A time will come when children will become a source of anger." Tabarani. Now, parents are cautious with their words. Discipline is called abuse. Children threaten parents with police or social services. Mothers cry silently out of disrespect from their own home. The reversal of authority is a prophetic sign. Maintaining family ties is no longer a priority. In Islam, cutting off family ties is a major sin. The Prophet said, "The one who severs family relations will not enter paradise." Bukhari. But today, siblings don't speak for years. Children leave parents behind. Relatives block each other on phones. Cousins grow up as strangers. Family gatherings feel like awkward meetings. Social media connected the world, but disconnected families. Mothers lose their honor. The Prophet emphasized 3 times, "Your mother." But today, mothers are interrupted while speaking. Their service is taken for granted. Their sacrifices are forgotten. Their age is mocked instead of honored. We forget that Jannah lies under their feet. Fathers lose their authority. Traditionally, fathers were protectors and guides. Now, their word is challenged. Their role is ignored. Their decisions are mocked. Their efforts are unappreciated. Theirs is seen as weakness. The messenger said, "The father is the middle gate of paradise." Tirmidhi. When the gate is disrespected, the home loses its light. Children grow but do not grow in faith. Allah says, "And be grateful to me and to your parents." Quran 31:14. But many youth demand freedom without responsibility, demand rights without duties, value friends more than family, see parents as outdated, forget that serving parents is worship. Growth without guidance leads to rebellion. Transition to discussion. So far we've seen children losing respect for parents, family ties being abandoned, elders treated as useless, homes losing Islamic values. The fall of the family is the fall of the Ummah. But the next sign affects the entire global economy and survival. Not all signs of the end are earthquakes, war, or disasters. Some signs hide behind banks, contracts, and economic systems. The Prophet Muhammad warned that riba, interest and usury, would one day become so widespread that no one could escape its dust. Today, that prophecy has come true. The Prophet's warning about riba. The Prophet said, "A time will come when no one will remain who does not consume riba. And if he does not consume it directly, he will be affected by its dust." Abu Dawud and Ibn Majah. Today, every bank charges interest. Loans, mortgages, and credit cards run on riba. Even countries are trapped in interest-based systems. Most economies depend on debt and inflation. It's global, it's hidden, and it's everywhere. Riba is a war against Allah. Allah powerfully warns, "O you who believe, fear Allah and give up what remains of riba. And if you do not, then be informed of a war from Allah and his messenger. Quran 2:278-279. Yet today, people defend interest as modern necessity. Islamic teachings about money are ignored. Even Muslim nations use riba-based systems. Halal income is replaced with credit lifestyles. Imagine a war with Allah himself. And most people don't even know they're in it. Greed becomes worship. The Prophet said, the son of Adam would have 2 valleys of gold and still desire a third. Bukhari and Muslim. Look around. Greed is celebrated. Wealth determines status. Companies exploit the poor. Billionaires control governments. Charity is replaced with consumerism. Money has become a false god. Dishonesty in business becomes normal. The Prophet said, there will come a time when people will not care how they earn their money, whether it is halal or haram. Bukhari. Today we see fraud in trade, fake products, corruption in contracts, bosses underpaying workers, tax evasion and bribery. People care about profit, not purity. Global debt chains. Countries owe trillions. Individuals live on loans. Education, housing, and healthcare trap people in lifelong debt. This cycle was described by the Prophet as one of the greatest fitan because debt leads to lies, injustice, and dependence. He said, debt is a worry by night and a humiliation by day. Al-Bayhaqi. Yet today, the whole world is indebted. Wealth in the wrong hands. The Prophet described, wealth will be given only to the rich, and the poor will be deprived. Tirmidhi. Now, billionaires multiply. Average families struggle. Rich countries grow richer. Poor nations drown in loans. Inflation crushes the weak. This imbalance was foretold. Cheating and deception in trade. The Prophet passed by a merchant selling grain with water hidden inside to appear fresh. He said, whoever cheats is not one of us. Muslim. Yet today, false advertising, tampered products, deceptive contracts, hidden fees, fake charities. Honesty is rare. Deception is standard. Hoarding wealth and ignoring zakat. Zakat is a command from Allah to purify wealth. But now, people avoid paying it. Businesses hide true profits. Some give only when seen. Others treat charity as optional. Allah warns, those who hoard gold and silver and do not spend in Allah's cause will face painful punishment. Quran 9:34. Generosity fades as greed grows. Luxury becomes a lifestyle. The Prophet warned that at the end of time, people will compete for worldly pleasures and forget the hereafter. Examples today, obsession with brands, lavish weddings, expensive cars and gadgets, mansions with empty hearts, fashion over faith. Materialism rules the soul. Transition to next excursion. So far, we've seen riba overtaking the world, honest trade disappearing, debt enslaving nations, greed replacing gratitude, wealth worship replacing worship of Allah. But there's another warning, one that affects not just money, but truth itself. The Prophet warned of time of lies. He said, before the hour, there will be years of deception. In them, the truthful will be disbelieved, and the liars will be believed. Ahmad. Today, fake news spreads faster than facts. Lies go viral. Truth is ignored. Influencers shape beliefs more than scholars. People trust rumors over evidence. False stories destroy reputations instantly. We're living the prophecy. Lying becomes a skill. The Prophet said, one of the signs of the hour is that lying will become widespread. Bukhari paraphrased. Examples today. Politicians lie openly without shame. Media twist facts for views. People create fake identities online. Scams and fraud are normal. Influencers stage fake lifestyles. Honesty is no longer expected. It's surprising. Trust is replaced by suspicion. The Prophet said, trust will be taken away and honesty will vanish. Bukhari. Now, contracts need signatures, witnesses, and lawyers. Friends doubt each other. Couples don't trust spouses. Business deals need surveillance. Leaders speak, but nobody believes. A world without truth becomes a world without peace. False leaders and misleading voices. The prophet said, "There will come impostors and liars who will claim what neither I nor my predecessors claimed." Muslim. Today, fake scholars with no knowledge. False claimants of prophethood. Conspiracy influencers shaping beliefs. Religious teachings twisted for agenda. Charismatic speakers replacing real teachers. People follow personalities, not truth. Social media, a tool of fitna. The prophet said, "Fitna will come like the dark night." Muslim. And now, lies spread in seconds. Videos are edited to mislead. AI creates fake speech and faces. Gossip is shared without checking. Slander ruins lives overnight. Screens have become gateways to deception. Entertainment over truth. People now say, if it's trending, it must be true. If it went viral, it's real. If a celebrity said it, it's right. Islam teaches, verify information, lest you harm people in ignorance. Quran 49:6. But verification is rare. Emotion leads before truth. Hypocrisy in public, sin in private. People present a clean image online while hiding reality. The prophet said, "From the signs of the hour is when people praise others out of fear." Meaning, leaders are flattered to gain benefits. Truth is silenced to avoid backlash. Public figures pretend to be righteous. Private behavior contradicts appearance. Society becomes performance, not reality. Lies in business, politics, and war. Deception is used as strategy. Companies hide harms of products. Governments justify wars with lies. Media shows one side of the truth. Campaign promises are never kept. Crimes are covered by influence. The prophet said, "A time will come when the trustworthy will be called a liar, and the liar will be trusted." That time is today. Manipulation through AI and technology. Now lies can be generated, not just spoken. Deep fake videos, edited audios, fake screenshots, fabricated documents. Even proof cannot be trusted. Truth is under attack. Transition to last session. We've now seen lies becoming normal, false voices gaining power, trust collapsing worldwide, technology spreading deception, truth mocked while falsehood is celebrated. But the next chapter reveals a sign even more powerful. Everything we covered in the past 11 chapters leads to this moment. Corruption, lies, moral collapse, false leaders, deception spreading across the world. All of it prepares humanity for the arrival of the greatest deceiver in history. Fire al-Masih ad-Dajjal, the false messiah. The prophet said, "There has been no trial since the creation of Adam greater than the trial of the Dajjal." Muslim, his fitna, deception, will shake every believer to the core. Who is a Dajjal? The word Dajjal means the deceiver, the liar, the one who covers truth with falsehood. He is a human being, not a myth. One-eyed effective, written kafir on his forehead, claims to be divine, performs fake miracles, travels the world rapidly. The prophet described him in detail, so no one could mistake him. His arrival will not be random. The world will be in chaos. Wars, economic collapse, drought and famine, people desperate for help, morality destroyed. In that moment of global weakness, he will appear claiming to solve it all. His deception will be supernatural. The prophet said he will bring with him something like paradise and something like hell, but what he calls paradise is actually hell. Bukhari Muslim. He will make it rain in dry lands, revive crops, command the earth to produce food, travel with a river of water and fire, appear to raise the dead with jinn trickery. People will follow him thinking he is God. Who will follow him? The prophet said many types of people will follow the Dajjal. The ignorant, the weak in faith, hypocrites, materialistic people, those who chase fame and false miracles. He also said, 70,000 Jews of Isfahan will follow him. Muslim, but believers who know his signs will resist his travel and power. He will travel the entire earth in 40 days. First day equals like a year. Second day equals like a month. Third day equals like a week. Remaining 37 days equals like normal days. His speed is like modern technology, something unimaginable centuries ago. He cannot enter two cities. The prophet said, he will not be able to enter Mecca or Medina. Angels will guard every road leading into them. Many believers will flee there for safety. Protection for the believers. The prophet told us how to stay safe. Memorize the first 10 verses of Surah Al-Kahf. Stay away from him. Do not confront him. Strengthen your iman before his arrival. Seek knowledge. Avoid ignorance. Stay with righteous companions. The strongest protection is belief and knowledge. How long will he rule? He will cause destruction and fitna for about 40 days, but the damage will feel global and lasting. Humanity will be tested like never before. Who will defeat him? When the world reaches its breaking point, Isa, Jesus, the son of Mary, will return. He will descend near the white minaret in Damascus. The prophet said, he will pursue the Dajjal and kill him at the gate of Lud in present-day Palestine. That moment will end the greatest deception. After the Dajjal, a final transition. With his death, truth returns. Believers are strengthened. Justice is restored. The world resets briefly before more signs unfold. But the test of the Dajjal remains the hardest in all of history. Final message. This chapter completes the series. The signs we see today, social collapse, moral decay, lies, false leaders, are not random. They are preparing the world for the greatest deceiver. The prophet didn't warn us to scare us. He warned us so we could prepare, strengthen our iman, and guide others. As we come to the end of this documentary, take a moment to reflect on everything you've just heard. These signs of the last day are not just stories from ancient texts or prophecies to be remembered occasionally. They are realities unfolding around us. Each sign, whether major or minor, serves as a warning, a reminder, and a mercy from Allah. We are not meant to panic, but to prepare. The purpose of knowing these signs is not fear, it's faith. It's so we return to Allah before we are returned to Him. It's so we change our habits before our habits change us. It's so we wake up before time runs out. Many of the signs discussed, wars, deception, corruption, moral decay, loss of trust, oppression, the rise of ignorance, are not distant possibilities. They are happening across the world, in our communities, and sometimes even in our homes. So ask yourself, where do I stand? What changes do I need to make? How can I prepare myself and my children? Am I living with awareness, or am I sleeping through the warnings? Remember, every sign of the hour is also a sign of Allah's mercy. He alerts us so we can return to Him. He reminds us so we can repent. He informs us so we can act wisely before it is too late. If this documentary opened your eyes, touched your heart, or reminded you of something important, then don't let it end here. Let this be the beginning of your journey toward awareness and preparation. Now, I have a humble request. Like this video, not for numbers, but to help more people see content that matters. Your one click can push this message to someone who desperately needs it. Subscribe to the channel, because this is just the beginning. We will continue exploring powerful topics about Islamic prophecies, spiritual preparation, faith in modern times, and how to navigate the world as the signs of the hour unfold. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode in this series. Each video is designed to inform you, inspire you, and remind you. Share this documentary with your family, your friends, your WhatsApp groups, your community pages. You never know whose heart might awaken through one share. Comment below. Tell us what shocked you the most, or which sign you think is already here. Your engagement not only builds a community, but also boosts the reach of the message. We are building a space for reminders, reflection, and preparation. And I want you to be part of that journey. The more you support, the more we can produce deeper, better, and more impactful Islamic documentaries. If you want more content about the Dajjal and deception in modern times, the Mahdi and the return of Isa, the collapse of morality in the end times, the minor signs that are already complete, spiritual survival in the age of fitna, authentic hadith about the final hour, how to prepare yourself and your family spiritually. Then stay with us, inshallah. There's so much more coming. Before you go, take a moment and make a silent intention in your heart. Ask Allah to keep you guided, keep you aware, and keep you steadfast as the world around us changes. May Allah protect us from the trials of the end times. Grant us wisdom to recognize truth from falsehood, and bless us with the strength to act before it is too late. Thank you for watching, for listening, and for reflecting. This is not goodbye. This is the beginning. See you in the next documentary, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.